If anybody doesn't know what the Matrix is, it's basically conditioning. We've all been conditioned from birth, and everything is filtered through this conditioning. That's basically what the Matrix is in a nutshell. And this is stuff that a lot of people think is BS, but it's very true. Everybody might have a different way of looking at it, but nonetheless, the Matrix is very real. I say that Suboxone keeps us stuck in the Matrix is because it keeps us, I kind of hate using this language, but it keeps us at a low vibration. And what that means, it basically just means being asleep, not aware of the true nature of reality. It's just like basically sleepwalking through life, you know, being in a low vibrational state. Everything is spiritual in this world, whether we believe it or not. It just is. And when we're on Suboxone, it completely dulls our senses. It dulls who we are. I think a lot of us could agree that being on Suboxone, we don't even know who we are. We're just like shells of our former selves. And this could be very scary, especially when it first starts going on, because when I first got on Suboxone, everything was great. I would just hide out in my room after work or before work and just watch videos. I don't know, I just loved it when I first got on it. But as the years went on, Suboxone became such a weight that is just too hard to carry, because it dulls everything that we are. And when we're in that dulled state, we can't be the best version of ourselves. It's literally impossible. I mean, we could definitely do good things. We could have moments where we feel pretty content and happy, but there's always that little noise in the background that just reminds us that we're a shell of our former selves. I believe that Suboxone eventually causes mental illness, and the reason for that is because it's an opiate. And anytime we take any drug like that messes with our dopamine, I believe it causes mental illness eventually. It's a slow progress, but nonetheless, it does. I am a very sad person in my life right now, and I know Suboxone isn't the only reason for this. There's other reasons for this. I've started to notice somewhere along this path of me being on Suboxone, it's been 8 years that I've been on this stuff. And I think like after the first year, it was pretty quick, I started to just become kind of delusional. I can't explain it. Like, I would hide out from the world so much because the Suboxone makes me so antisocial that I would just not want to be around people. I withdrew myself so much that I started to become delusional. My mind was like in this, and it still is in a lot of ways, but I've learned to manage it a lot better. But it felt like my mind is like in a deep fryer or something. That's the only way I could describe it. My mind is in a deep fryer. This started causing so much depression that I started to get anxiety. And just these two clashed together. I don't wish this on my worst enemy, and I hate that stupid cliche, but it's true. I wouldn't wish this kind of pain on anybody, and especially the withdrawal part. That's just another story. I think the longer we go on taking Suboxone and just running from our true potential, it causes mental illness. Because think about it, like, we know that we could be better, but we choose to keep ourselves in this box. It's no different than doing any other drug. It just numbs you out so much to where life just doesn't sing anymore. Life isn't in color. It's everything's in black and white. I'm just watching the world go by. It's like my life is on pause. And I felt stupid bugs, and I felt like this a big majority of my life, where my life is just on pause for some reason. And I can never figure it out. I can never point my finger on it, but I understand now. We're very resilient people. Drug addicts were very resilient. We've been through so much stuff that would kill other people. And we've also been through stuff that would make people just give up mentally. They would just check out mentally. And again, it's just, mental illness is such a complex thing. This can happen to anybody. You know, people don't just become schizophrenic. It starts out as like anxiety, and then it just, you know, it just progresses, depression, then bipolar. I don't know how it works, but it slowly progresses. And every mental illness is on a spectrum, you know. And again, I don't, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't believe that somebody just gets schizophrenic. It just slowly progresses. We only have a short amount of time on this planet, and we need to start thinking like that. This is our only chance as a human to be the best version of ourselves, so we could inspire others, so we could help others to get clean. Because what's the point of getting clean if we don't inspire people? I don't want to be mediocre. I'm not mediocre. And that's the thing. I'm realizing lately, I'm waking up to my true potential. I'm really dreaming it up in my mind. I can see it. And I've been questioning a lot of my old beliefs. I have a lot of doubt right now in my old belief system. I come from very dogmatic beliefs. And I'm not saying I don't believe the Bible. All I'm saying is that I'm questioning a lot of things that I believe. Not the foundational truths, but I'm definitely questioning why I believe what I believe. And I think that's healthy. I think we should all question what we believe. Because just listening to what some other person says and claiming that as our truth, that just seems dangerous to me. And hey, maybe I'm wrong there too. See, this is a good thing. It's good to be humble. It's good to question things. It's good to be present for ourselves, because nobody's showing up for ourselves except ourselves. We're the only ones that are going to show up. The only way that we could be the best version of ourselves is if we get off this Suboxone stuff. It's killing us slowly, mentally, emotionally. We're becoming numb, shelled versions of ourselves, and it only gets worse. They're saying that this stuff is making people's teeth rot out. That right there, I need my teeth. I don't know about you guys, but I need my teeth, all right? I'm starting to notice a lot of sensitivity. I'm getting cavities, and I'm using special toothpaste and all that stuff to make sure that my teeth don't rot out. But that is a big deal. I think that we go too far with this avoiding withdrawal stuff, avoiding the pain. I say we need to embrace the pain. I say we need to lean into it, because that's where the breakthrough is. That's where the freedom is at. It's by leaning into what we fear, what feels painful to us, and I believe we come out the other side reborn. I'm gonna keep going on this path. You know, right now I'll admit in my life I'm very miserable. You know, I'm definitely improving though, because since I'm questioning my beliefs, it's been pretty painful and it's been a grieving process for me, questioning my beliefs, because this is what I base my identity on. This is all I know. And to go outside those parameters is very intimidating and very scary. Something in me is awakening, and I believe it's God leading me to be the best version of myself, so I could help other people become the best version of themselves. I like to teach, I like to inspire, and this is something, this right here, me making this video, this is something I've been running from for a long time. When our minds are still processing things like how our old toxic self is, there's no way that we could become the best version of ourselves if we're still thinking toxic thoughts, we're still judging people, we're still judging ourselves, we're still negative, we're still procrastinating, all that stuff. That's from the toxic version of ourselves. Letting go is how this process happens. There isn't a step-by-step guide into letting go. A lot of people, they probably look for YouTube videos. What's the 10-step guide to letting go so you could become the best version of yourself? There is no step-to-step guide. Letting go is just a knowing. I can't explain it. We just let go of what we think we know, what we think we understand, who we think we are. We also let go of our own we try to stop controlling everything so much. You know, once we stop controlling everything so much and just let go and just let life happen, that's when the miracle happens. And I've experienced this in my life in little small tastes, you know, so I know it's real. Our thoughts are definitely what create our reality. We can't be anywhere without being in our mind first. Think about it. If you go to the store and you want to get something to snack on, you don't just end up at the store. You think about it first and then you go to the store. You take action, right? It's the same thing with anything, even something that's super far into the future. We create our own realities by the thoughts that we think. It's mostly the emotions that we feel associated with these thoughts that are creating our reality. A lot of us can relate that we're constantly just soaking in negativity, like, oh, what if this happens, or what if this don't happen? Oh, I'm such a horrible person. Oh, this person said this to me. That's all low vibrational thinking. When we stew in that, it only creates more of that negative stuff. So it's easier said than done, I get it, but we need to start somewhere. To get through this detox, to get off of this Suboxone stuff, we need to be there in our mind first, because if we're not there in our mind, we're not going to get very far, if at all. We're not going to get far at all. So it starts in the mind. It's just an ultimate knowing that we're not Suboxone addicts. This isn't us. And once we figure that out, once we get wise to that, we start imagining the person that we really want to be, and we act as if we are that person already, and eventually the reality around us will shift and things will start going in our favor. Suboxone isn't our master. Life is short, guys. I'm 41 already, and I'm just so done with this mediocre life. There is so much life has to offer, and I think a lot of us have become numb to that too. We just think this is our reality. This is all there is. And that's depressing. That's depressing. This is all there is in life, just taking Suboxone, being depressed all day, whining, griping, and complaining. That's not life. That was my life for the longest time, and I'm done. I let go of that version of myself. And I just want to say, if any of you guys have any ideas for videos regarding Suboxone, just put it in the comments. Please like and subscribe this channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm going to be making some very good content. I'm starting out, so give a brother some love. All right? Peace.